2024 honestly has been one of the best years of my life. So the first goal was to hit 600k cash for the year within my business. Number 2 was to weigh 65 kilos. So like I said, I lost. Goal number 3 was to hit 30,000 podcast downloads. I got to have weekend quarterly trips with Geordie. We did. Hello and welcome to this week's episode. Today I am taking you behind the scenes for the month of December 2024. This is the final episode of my series of doing a review of every single month of 2024. 2024 honestly has been one of the best years of my life, both personally and professionally, and I'm so excited to break down not only the month of December, the highs, the lows, and everything in between, but then also share with you in summary, all of the goals that I set at the beginning of 2024 and where I got to with all of them, so that you get that nice summary after all of these months listening to these episodes. So if this is your first time, I recorded a behind the scenes episode of every month of 2024. We will link them all below in the show notes so that you can go listen back to them if you want to. I've personally found it so nice to listen back to them every single month and just see where I'm at and how I've evolved throughout the year, because I'm extremely transparent in these episodes. Now, something I want to quickly share with you before we dive on in is a little disclaimer about the quality, both the audio and the video of this episode. I am currently literally in a tiny cabin on my partner's family farm. We unfortunately had some really sad news that Geordie's grandma passed away, so we have stayed at his family home for a lot longer than we had anticipated, and so I don't have my podcast gear on me. I've been living out of a little tiny suitcase, wearing the same 3 outfits over the last couple of weeks, and yeah, this is the first time I'm really opening my laptop in several weeks. I have been completely offline, very present with family, celebrating Christmas and New Year's. It's currently the 6th of January as I record this, but I wanted to get this out for you so that we stick to schedule of doing this at the end of every single month. So yeah, for that reason, I look not as high quality as I usually do, and the sound is nowhere near as good as well. So just wanted to share that. So apologies, but hopefully the quality in terms of the value provided is just as high as usual. Okay, so let me start with sharing what I did both personally and professionally in the month of December. So on the 4th of December, I flew to Adelaide, which is where I'm actually from, but now Geordie and I live in Brisbane in Queensland, just for context. We also finished our parasite cleanse on that day as well. So after, I think it was 28 days of doing a very intense parasite cleanse, we finished it on the 4th of December, and my goodness, did we take go crazy basically. We had pasta, we had treats and bakery stuff and all of this stuff, but we also tried to balance it out a little bit throughout the following weeks, because it's not good to go from 0 to 100, but it was so nice to finish that cleanse because we literally just ate meat, high quality grass-fed organic meat, and avocado and coconut yogurt for 30 days pretty much. So it was so nice to have different foods. Then the next day we actually went to a business ball. So Geordie always gets invited to this ball every year, because of the entrepreneurial space that he is in, and he of course invited me, and so I got to wear this really beautiful dress. You may have seen it on my Instagram, and I received so much love from people that saw those photos as well, which was super nice. But it was so nice to dress up in this beautiful ball gown and just have a lovely night, so absolutely loved that. Then we shortly after flew back to Brisbane. I was really consistent with the gym and my health in the month of December, because I was just on such a roll of finishing this parasite cleanse and just loving the way I felt and looked, and I wanted to keep that up. We also went on our final quarterly weekend trip. Geordie and I do this every single quarter. It was actually one of our goals for the year that I'll share with you shortly, but it is something we have done our entire relationship. So we went somewhere that is very special to me. It's a place called Sanctuary Cove in Queensland near the Gold Coast, and we went there because I grew up there. That was like where we went on family holidays because my grandparents owned a place there, and so it was so nice to take Geordie there and just relive it because I probably hadn't been there for like, oh, I have no idea, maybe 10 to 15 years. So yeah, it was so much fun to go there for 3 days and just relax together and hang out. I also had a Christmas dinner with all of my friends in Brisbane. I had a movie date with Geordie. I finished my work for the year. I think on the 20th of December is when I stopped work, and I'm not going back until the 14th of January, so 3 whole weeks. And I'm about 2 weeks into that, and it's been the nicest break ever. It's the only time of the year that I truly fully switch off from clients. Other than that, I'm working with clients all throughout the year because my program is this on-rolling program, and I absolutely love it and don't even feel the need to have a break. I just know how important it is to do that. So that's what we've been doing. I also had a dinner with one of my good friends in Brisbane. Then we flew to Adelaide. I had a friend's Christmas with all my friends in Adelaide. And then we drove to Jamestown, which is where Geordie's family's from, on his family farm, which is where I am right now. And we had Christmas there with the family, which was so lovely. And then I had New Year's with some of my friends down by the beach. And then we came back here because of the sad news about the passing of Geordie's grandma. So it's been a whirlwind, but mostly all positive. December was an incredible month, and it was just so nice to end the year on such a high as well. So when I reflect on not only December but just all of 2024, it was honestly the best year of my life. Like, I could go on for hours about all of the things that I accomplished and that I did. Like, I flew to Europe with my best friends and spent 3 weeks traveling. I grew my relationship with Geordie like so much. Like, our relationship is just deeper and more fulfilling than ever before, and that's something we're both extremely proud of. I became even closer with my friends. I lost like 10 kilos of weight on my body, and that just release has been so nice as well. I've fallen more in love with myself. I trust myself more than before. I love my own company more than ever before. I love the relationships I have with my clients. I have more clients than ever before. I have over 200 clients now. My finances has grown exponentially this year. We had our biggest year in business. I could just go on. My health improved so much in so many different ways. And I got better at saying no and not people pleasing, and I felt a lot less anxiety than I usually would under certain situations, and just was able to let go a lot easier wherever necessary, and also improve the relationship with my family significantly too. So 2024, guys, was my best year. And I'm going to be completely honest and say that I feel a little bit guilty about that sometimes, because I know from certain friends, even family, and even clients, where 2024 was the worst year of their life. Like, I saw a lot of that online of how happy people were to let go of 2024. And I obviously, deeply empathize and feel so sorry for all of those people that had that experience. We all have, our years. Some years are better than others, but I did feel really guilty that I had such a good year in all areas of my life. Like, I can't even think of like one bad thing that happened, but I know I shouldn't feel guilty because, I obviously worked for this, and, I've had my fair share of not so great years as well. But yeah, I did feel a little bit guilty, I'm not gonna lie. So if you're listening to this right now and 2024 was not your year, or Christmas or New Year's was a really tough time, then I'm just sending so much love your way, and I hope you're feeling okay. So that was December, and that was 2024. Let me now break down all of the goals that I have reflected and reviewed every single month this year, or in the year of 2024, and share with you the final results of all of them and how I'm honestly, like, hand on heart, feeling about all of them. So the first goal was to hit 600k cash for the year within my business. We did not hit that. We hit 500k cash, so I was $100,000 off the goal. I am so proud of this. This was our biggest year in business. 600k was such a stretch when I said it. and I'm really proud of how far we came. If I was to include GST, this is something that gets deducted automatically. If you are based in Australia, then I'm pretty sure we hit like over $520,000. So yeah, but I'm not going to count that here. So we hit 500K cash collected. But yeah. Oh, as I recorded that, I just got a email come through of a payment coming through, which is just so beautiful. So yeah, how am I feeling about that? Honestly, I'm not one bit disappointed. Of course, I would have loved to have hit that goal, but honestly, $500,000 in 365 days, doing something that I absolutely love. I didn't feel burnt out. I didn't feel exhausted. I love what I do. It just doesn't even feel like work to generate $500,000 to provide 3 people their full-time income and just have so much freedom and spaciousness to travel internationally. I think like 3 or 4 times. I went to Fiji, I went to Europe, I went to New Zealand. Yeah, 3 times, like my goodness. And interstate, every month I flew somewhere. I just cannot complain. Of course, there is a reason we didn't hit 600K cash. We were not a match for that. We did a lot of learning. We did a lot of undoing and fixing and rebranding and iteration this year. So also to have, like, that being said, now that I said that out loud, to have actually hit this despite the amount of change we made this year is actually unbelievable. So I have no doubt that we're going to be able to smash 600K and more in the year of 2025 because of all of the hard work, the undoing, the redoing we did in 2024. So 100K off that. Number 2 was to weigh 65 kilos. So like I said, I lost 10 kilos this year, and I got to 71 kilos. So I was 6 kilos off the goal. How am I feeling about that? I mean, to lose 10 kilos is a lot, considering I never said no to dessert when offered or when I desired it. I never said no to a date night. I never restricted myself. I didn't calorie count. I didn't suffer. I literally enjoyed myself, felt really good, and sustainably lost 10 kilos. There was a point where I literally weighed 86 kilos, guys, a few years ago. So I've been on a massive weight loss journey. But I've been so okay with it taking a couple of years because, like I said, I wanted to do it sustainably, as that's in alignment with my values. I did not want it to cost my life, my sanity, my well-being, my happiness at all in the process of doing it. And I also wanted to love my body unconditionally every step of the way. So that, to be honest, how I'm feeling freaking amazing. I've never loved my body so much over the last few years, and not just because I weigh less, but just because who I've become to be a match for this. And the reason why this is so important to me is because I had a really unhealthy belief that was very deep rooted, that I could only lose weight if I was unhappy, because I once went through a breakup like maybe 6 years ago or something, and I lost like 10 kilos but like in a month because I just wasn't eating, because I was so like upset. I just could not stomach food. And so it created this belief that like I can lose weight if I'm unhappy, but then if I'm in a happy relationship and everything's good, like I'm going to put on weight. And so that's what I did because of that belief, plus like a variety of other things. But that's like, yeah, it's not relevant right now. My point is that I really had to rewire this belief that like I can be happy, I can have success in relationships, in business, in life, and also have a healthy body. And that belief has been, a lot of subconscious work, but then a lot of action too, like different eating habits, different movements, because, when I started and grew my business, I, started sitting down a lot more, whereas prior to that, I was working 5 casual jobs, running around like a mad woman all day, every day, like babysitting, decluttering, cafes, everything. And so it was a lifestyle change as well. So I just really slowly gained weight, but now I'm really slowly losing weight and I feel so good. So how do I feel about it? No, we didn't reach the goal, but I know that I will in a couple of months' time, or maybe like 3 months' time, whatever it takes, because again, I'm doing it sustainably. I've been losing weight every single month, like almost a kilo every month for the entire year on average. average, it works out to be. And so I'm just going to continue going there. Like for me, goals is all about the journey. Like I'm not a better person, like if I reach a goal or not, it's just about the journey. Like who do I become on my way there? Like I would be no happier if I had reached 600k versus 500k. I wouldn't be a happier person if I weighed 65 kilos versus 71. Like it doesn't improve happiness, but who I become in the pursuit of that, and what I need to let go of and what I need to gain to get there, like that is the stuff that really matters. So I'm feeling really, really good, 6 kilos to go, but I'm loving my body and I feel really, really good. So that's what matters there. So that's goal number 2.
Interrupting this podcast episode really quickly to talk to you about joining Scale School, the 12-month mastermind for ambitious female coaches ready to scale their business to 30k months and beyond the simple, sustainable way. Scale School is the only way to work with me, so if you'd like to learn more and see if this mastermind is right for you, simply click the link in the show notes or come DM me at Sophia Rose Bernardi on Instagram to chat. Now let's get back to the episode.
Goal number 3 was to hit 30,000 podcast downloads. I got to 21,500 in the end. So I was 8,500 downloads off the goal. This one, I'm going to be honest, I'm not that proud of because I honestly just didn't put enough effort into this goal until the very end of the year. I invested in a podcast program like maybe a month and a half ago, and I love the program, and now we're making progress because I'm learning so much, but it took me like 11 months of the year to make that decision. So I'm not that proud of that. I am obviously proud of how far we got though, considering, the bare minimum effort, but that it's just this big reminder that you get what you put in. And obviously I've been extremely consistent with the podcast. I've never ever missed an episode. But in terms of like focusing on quality and improving things, I definitely could have paid more attention to the data and information a lot more throughout the year. So I'm not that proud of that one, but it's also completely expected considering I just did not prioritize that goal. And that was something I reflected on last month with you guys a lot, that I set too many goals. I ignored my golden rule of just having 2 goals. And so it was one of those things where I'd set these goals at the start of the year, soon after realized, oh my God, I should have only set 2 goals, but I wanted to follow through and have every one of these monthly episodes be consistent and me referring to the same thing. So I kept the goals despite my gut feeling of being like not wanting to have some of these goals anymore, and so I just didn't prioritize it. So yeah, but that was the end result. So didn't reach that one. The next goal is 2 goals left. So the next goal is have weekend quarterly trips to Geordie. We did that and more, to be honest. Yeah, we went away every quarter, but we do spontaneous things all the time. Like we literally just went camping the other day just for the night, just out of nowhere, and it was so much fun, just having 2 days away together and sleeping outside in a swag, like, living the dream. So we just do stuff like that all the time, and again, that's why it shouldn't have been a goal, because it's actually just a standard bare minimum that we do. But anyways, I said it at the start of the year, so here's the end result. Yes, we completed that. And then the final goal was to invest $100,000 in shares, and I did that and more. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, only because at one point in the middle of the year, I decided to sell certain shares because I was no longer aligned with them and reinvested them elsewhere. And so I just know that I invested a lot more than $100,000 in the end because of that little blip throughout the year. I'm up in majority of my shares, which is so cool as well, getting great dividends. I have a very diversified portfolio now, which is so cool. So yeah, invested probably $120,000 in shares. And I'm really proud of that, because that is just like excess abundant money that I have to put away. And now I just invest a minimum of $10,000 every single month. And I'm going to continue to do that. So that also shouldn't have been a goal, because it was just something that I do and that I'm going to continue to do. But I'm very proud of that goal, because that is building passive income, and it's just setting me up for so much success in my future. So in summary, 600k cash goal, we hit 500k. weigh 65 kilos, I weigh 71 kilos, have 30,000 podcast downloads, I have 21,500, go on weekend quarterly trips, did that, invest 100k in shares, did that. So out of the 5 goals, we hit 2 of them and got bloody close with the other 3. I'm super proud of this, guys, in all honesty. Like, I know that I worked really hard to create this life and to get close to these goals or to reach these goals, and it's showing me that I can go even bigger in 2025. So I'm following my rule, and I only have 2 goals for 2025. I have a health goal and I have a wealth goal, and that is it, because I know that these are really big and stretchy goals, and the flow-on effect as a result of going so deep on these big goals is going to seep into every other area of my life. That is my core belief, which is why I'm super disappointed I didn't listen to myself in 2024 with that, because I feel like these episodes would have been way more productive, because I would have just been going all in on 2 really massive goals instead of like dabbling in several. But thank you so much for coming along for the ride. If you have actually listened to all 12 of these behind the scenes episodes, can you please do me one favor and message me on Instagram, or if we're already connected on Facebook, there at Sophia Rose Bernardi, and let me know, like, did you enjoy these episodes? Because if you did, I will do it again in 2025 for my 2 goals and like go ultra detailed and ultra transparent on that. But if I don't hear from you and I don't have the numbers up, then I probably won't do it. So I only want to do it if this has been well received and you've really loved it. So if you loved it, can you please do me a favor and send me a message and share with me that you loved it and you'd like me to do it in 2025. I've personally had so much fun. My word for the year, by the way, was intentional. That was 2024's word, and I feel really good about that. I feel like I was extremely intentional with every area of my life. Yes, there is room for improvement. I could have been off my phone a lot more. Like I found myself distracting myself with TikTok and Instagram reels from time to time, to switch off, or watching Netflix or whatever. How else wasn't I intentional? Yeah, I wasn't intentional with some of my goals, like, the podcast goal. Like, I just intentionally didn't do it, if anything. And so there's definitely room for improvement, but I found myself being more present. I found myself tuning into what I wanted with certain decisions more and making decisions from that place. So yeah, I feel like I was very, very intentional with like, what's a fuck yes, what's a fuck no, easily being able to let go of things that was a fuck no. But yeah, I definitely can have some room for improvement. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you loved it. That is honestly my summary for December and for the entirety of 2024. I will see you next week with a much higher quality episode. So I'll speak to you soon. Bye.
If you loved this episode, it would mean the world to me if you took a moment to screenshot this episode, sharing what you think on your Instagram stories, tagging me at Sophia Rose Bernardi so that I can reshare it. And if you do, I'll send you a special resource exclusive for my podcast listeners to help you grow and scale your business. I'll see you in the next episode.